There's something I need to tell you tonight. Something most people your age will never hear. Not from their doctor, not from their kids, not even from the health programs they've trusted for years. It's this: you can feel perfectly fine right now, maybe even proud of how independent and active you still are, and yet still be just one quiet step away from kidney failure. I know that sounds harsh, but it's something I've seen too many times to stay silent about. As a physician who's been caring for older adults for over 4 decades, I've watched countless patients, smart, responsible people in their 60s and 70s walk into my clinic feeling just a little off. Within weeks, they're in the emergency room. Fatigue, swelling, high blood pressure, a kind of fog that doesn't lift. And when we run the labs, their kidneys are already failing. No warning signs, no pain, just silence until it's too late. That's what makes this so dangerous. The kidneys are quiet. They don't cry out when they're overwhelmed. They don't throb or pulse like your heart. They don't ache the way your back does when you strain it. Instead, they whisper, a little puffiness here, a bit of pressure there, trouble sleeping, waking up tired. And most people chalk it up to age or stress or one of those nights. Meanwhile, your kidneys are working overtime, filtering your blood, balancing your fluids, regulating your blood pressure, managing your bones. And here's the kicker at night. While you sleep, they actually work harder. That's right. When you think your body is resting, your kidneys are clocking in for their longest shift of the day. And that's why this message matters so much. Because what you do or don't do before bed could be the very thing that's overworking your kidneys and pushing them toward burnout. I'm not talking about rare conditions or freak accidents. I'm talking about everyday habits, things that feel completely harmless, maybe even comforting, like that late-night snack, or skipping a bathroom trip, or lying in a position you've used for years. It's the repetition that makes them dangerous. Night after night, year after year, these tiny actions pile up and place a burden on your kidneys that they were never designed to carry for so long. Now, if this is starting to make you uneasy, good. That means you're paying attention. But don't let it paralyze you. Because the truth is, you can turn this around. I've seen it happen. You just need to know what these habits are and how to change them, gently, consistently, one step at a time. That's why I made this video, and that's why I want you to keep listening. Because the very first habit, the one that starts this domino effect of kidney damage, is probably sitting right next to your bed right now. It looks innocent, feels like comfort, but inside your body, it's setting off a silent storm you don't want to ignore. You see that bag of chips on your nightstand? Maybe it's popcorn, maybe it's salted almonds or pretzels you like to nibble while watching your favorite evening show. Feels harmless, right? Just a little something before bed. But here's what no one tells you, especially not on those feel-good health segments or in those 1-minute clinic visits. Salt doesn't sleep, and neither do your kidneys when you eat it after dark. The salt you take in right before bed stays in your system, pulling water into your blood vessels, raising your pressure slowly, quietly, right when it should be dropping for the night. Now let me tell you why that matters. Your kidneys count on that nightly dip in blood pressure to reset. It's like cleaning crew time. That drop allows them to flush out toxins, reduce inflammation, and prepare for the next day. But when salt keeps your blood pressure elevated, your kidneys never get the memo that it's time to rest. Instead, they keep grinding, inflamed, overloaded, and eventually damaged. You might wake up with puffy eyes, stiff fingers, a dry mouth you chalk up to just a bad night's sleep. But that's not aging. That's your kidneys waving a red flag. In the only language they know, subtle changes in how you feel each morning. And here's the thing, this isn't about blaming you. You weren't warned. No one told you that even lightly salted snacks after dinner could silently pile stress onto your renal system. But I will. Because once you understand what's happening inside, you can change it. You can choose differently. You can swap that late-night bowl of pretzels for something gentler on your kidneys, like a few slices of pear, a handful of blueberries, or half an apple. Not only will your digestion thank you, but your kidneys will too. I've seen patients make this one shift and notice a difference in how they sleep, how they feel in the morning, and even how their lab numbers change over time. So tonight, before you reach for that salty treat, ask yourself, am I giving my kidneys a chance to breathe? Or am I piling on one more task while they're already overworked? The choice seems small, but I promise you it matters more than you think. Now let me ask you something that might hit closer to home. Have you ever been lying in bed, warm and comfortable, just minutes from drifting off, and you feel a small urge to pee but you ignore it? You tell yourself, it's nothing. You'll go in the morning. You're too tired. Or maybe you don't feel the urge at all, so you figure there's no reason to make the trip. I've heard this story 1,000 times, and every time I shake my head. Because holding in your urine overnight isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Here's why. When you skip that one last trip to the bathroom before bed, your bladder stays full longer than it should. That extended retention gives bacteria more time to grow, multiply, and travel. And guess where they can end up? In your kidneys. And once bacteria reach that far, we're not talking about discomfort anymore. We're talking about infections, inflammation, scarring, and in many cases a quiet, irreversible decline in kidney function. And it gets more complicated. For men, especially those dealing with prostate enlargement, a full bladder can create pressure that makes everything worse. Nighttime urgency, incomplete emptying, even interrupted sleep. For women, holding it in can weaken the pelvic floor over time, leading to leakage and less control down the road. And none of this touches on the real reason we're here: waste. Urine is waste. Your kidneys worked hard to filter out. When you leave it sitting in your system overnight, you're essentially asking your kidneys to take the trash out and then store it inside your house till morning. I know it doesn't feel like a big deal in the moment. You're tired. The room is dark. You don't feel the urgency. But this is one of those small decisions that adds up fast. So, starting tonight, I want you to make it a non-negotiable habit. Empty your bladder before bed, even if it feels unnecessary. Even if it's just a few drops. Because what you're doing is sending your kidneys a message: I've got your back. I'm giving you space to rest and recover, instead of holding on to toxins that don't belong. This tiny shift, done consistently, is one of the simplest, most powerful ways to protect your kidney health long before trouble starts. And once you've made that trip to the bathroom, there's one more thing I want you to think about: how you lie down after you return to bed. Let me say something that might sound a little strange at first. The way you sleep your favorite bedtime position, the one you've used for decades because it just feels right, could be slowly crushing your kidneys without you ever realizing it. I know, it sounds dramatic, but hear me out. Most people never think about how their sleeping posture affects their internal organs. We think about comfort, maybe back pain, or how to stop snoring. But what if I told you that sleeping on your stomach, something that feels cozy, even familiar, could actually be cutting off circulation to your kidneys while you sleep? It's true. Your kidneys sit toward the back of your abdominal cavity. When you lie on your stomach, the full weight of your body presses down against your core, your spine, and the delicate network of blood vessels that feed those two vital filters. Less circulation means less oxygen. Less oxygen means your kidneys can't perform at full strength. And over time, that reduced filtration builds up like trying to clean your entire house while holding your breath. You might have already felt it. Ever woken up with a dull ache in your lower back that you couldn't explain? Thought maybe it was your mattress or just getting older? It might not be either of those. That discomfort could be your kidneys signaling distress in the only way they can. And when sleep posture is off for months or years, it doesn't stop at circulation. It can misalign your spine, pinch nerves, and interfere with the delicate balance your kidneys rely on to communicate with the rest of your body. But here's the good news, you can fix this. And you don't need a fancy device or complicated regimen. Start training yourself to sleep on your side, especially your left side. Why the left? Because studies show that sleeping on your left side supports better drainage and circulation through the kidneys. It allows your body to detoxify more efficiently while you rest. Want to make it more comfortable? Place a pillow between your knees. It helps align your hips and reduces strain on your lower back. I've had patients tell me this one change, just adjusting their sleep position, led to fewer aches, deeper sleep, and more energy in the morning. The difference wasn't dramatic overnight, but over time, their kidneys got the break they so desperately needed. It's not about being perfect. It's about removing the hidden sources of pressure that are quietly draining you. And if you've made this adjustment, there's one more hidden habit I need to bring to light, one that doesn't involve how you lie down, but what you forget to take before you close your eyes. Let's talk about something most people brush off as harmless, a missed pill. You know the moment. You're already in bed, the lights are out, your body's finally settled, and then it hits you. I forgot to take my blood pressure medication. Or maybe it's your diabetes pill, your heart medicine, your water tablet. And you think, it's just one night. I'll take it in the morning. I can't tell you how often I've heard this, good people, responsible people, who never meant any harm, telling themselves they'll catch up later. But when it comes to your kidneys, later can be too late. See, a lot of medications, especially the ones we prescribe to be taken at night, are timed to match your body's natural rhythm. They're meant to work while you sleep, during the hours when your body isn't digesting food or moving around. That's when your kidneys are in their most vulnerable, most essential phase, repair mode. And when you skip that pill, even just once in a while, you're removing the very support system your kidneys rely on to maintain balance. Blood sugar goes unchecked. Blood pressure stays elevated. And both of those are direct hits to your kidney health, especially over time. But the problem doesn't end there. Even when people remember to take their medication, many don't drink enough water with it. They dry, swallow it out of habit or convenience, not realizing that a pill taken without water can stick in the throat, irritate the esophagus, and even cause inconsistent absorption. For the kidneys, that unpredictability creates another layer of stress. They're already filtering hundreds of liters of blood a day. When medication is delivered erratically or absorbed poorly, it adds confusion to an already delicate system. And then there's the matter of painkillers. So many older adults take NSAIDs at night, ibuprofen, naproxen, sometimes even without prescription. I get it. Arthritis hurts. Back pain flares up in the evenings. But those drugs, especially when taken regularly or without supervision, are notoriously hard on the kidneys. They reduce blood flow within the organ itself. Over time, they chip away at kidney function without so much as a warning sign until real damage is done. So what's the solution? Routine. Not rigid, guilt-ridden discipline, but a compassionate, realistic nighttime ritual. Use a pill organizer. Set a phone reminder. Keep a glass of water on your nightstand. Make it easy to do the right thing. Because your kidneys are counting on you to remember the little things, the timing, the hydration, the consistency. And if that sounds like too much for one night, I understand. But let me ask you this, what if your kidneys are already inflamed, already struggling, already begging for a break? And the next habit you ignore has nothing to do with pills or posture at all, but starts from something as simple as the temperature in your feet? You ever crawl into bed, pull the covers up, and realize your feet just won't warm up? Maybe you chalk it up to aging or poor circulation, or just needing thicker socks. But let me be real with you. Cold feet at night might be your body's quiet cry for help, and your kidneys could be the ones calling out. Here's the deal. Your feet are far from your heart, and they're often the first place to show signs when your circulation is lagging. Now, what does that have to do with your kidneys? Everything. Because the same blood vessels that are struggling to keep your toes warm are the ones trying to carry oxygen and nutrients to your kidneys. And when that blood flow is sluggish, Your kidneys can't get what they need to function properly. It doesn't cause stabbing pain or send alarms through your chest. It just slows everything down. Filtration weakens. Toxins build up. And over time, you wake up more tired, more foggy, more inflamed. But that's not all. Poor circulation to the feet at night often comes with other unwelcome guests: leg cramps, restless legs, shallow sleep, and each of those triggers a stress response in the body. Cortisol goes up, blood pressure spikes, inflammation increases, and the kidneys, once again, are caught in the crossfire, dealing with a storm they never asked for. This is especially true if you've got a history of high blood pressure, diabetes, or smoking, all of which narrow blood vessels and restrict circulation. I've treated countless patients who thought cold feet were just a comfort issue until they realized those toes were telling a much bigger story. But here's what I love about this. There's something you can do about it tonight. Literally tonight. Start by wearing soft, warm socks to bed. Nothing tight, just enough to hold the warmth in. Use a hot water bottle or a heating pad at the foot of the bed. Keep your bedroom warm but not stuffy. These aren't luxuries. These are signals to your body that it's safe, supported, and allowed to rest. And if you want to go a step further, start tracking it. These days, there are health apps and devices that can help you monitor foot temperature, swelling, nighttime movement. I've had patients discover patterns they never noticed. Nights when their feet were colder were often nights they slept poorly or woke up feeling off. Your body is always speaking. You just have to learn how to listen. So tonight, when you tuck in, ask yourself not just, are my feet warm, but is my circulation flowing freely enough to nourish my kidneys? Because if your toes are freezing, there's a good chance your kidneys are too. Let me say something that might surprise you. Water, yes, plain old water, the thing we're always told to drink more of, can become harmful when taken at the wrong time. And for your kidneys, late-night overhydration is like showing up to a quiet office at midnight and dumping a mountain of paperwork on someone's desk. I've had patients who were doing their best, truly trying to be healthy. They'd drink big glasses of water late in the evening, thinking they were helping their body flush out toxins overnight. But here's what they didn't know. Your kidneys aren't designed to be flooded while you're sleeping. They need a break too. During the day, your kidneys filter waste, balance electrolytes, regulate fluids, all while you eat, move, and stay alert. But at night, the system is meant to slow down. This is repair time, restoration time. When you pour in too much water right before bed, you're forcing your kidneys to stay on high alert. Instead of resting, they're scrambling to manage that influx of fluid. And that often leads to what most of my patients describe as that 2 a.m. stumble to the bathroom. You know the one, half awake, lights off, maybe even tripping over the dog. But what you might not realize is that each of those bathroom trips breaks your sleep cycle. And broken sleep raises stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, which, over time, quietly erode kidney function. And for those of you with bladder issues like weakened muscles, an enlarged prostate, or incomplete emptying, the danger's even greater. That leftover urine sits in the body, providing bacteria a perfect place to multiply. It becomes a loop. More fluid, more pressure, more inflammation, more strain. All while you're supposed to be sleeping. So what should you do? Drink water smart, not hard. Hydrate gradually throughout the day. Sip consistently, especially in the morning and early afternoon. Then begin tapering off in the evening. After dinner, switch from gulps to sips. Let your body wind down. And if you're thirsty close to bedtime, a few small sips are enough. Your kidneys will thank you for the reprieve. I'm not saying stop drinking water. I'm saying give your kidneys the grace of peace at night. Because when they get the rest they need, they can serve you better during the day. Now, we've talked about food, posture, medication, circulation, and hydration. But what if the biggest threat to your kidneys isn't what goes into your body, but what you carry in your mind? You ever lie in bed and find your mind racing? Maybe it's something someone said earlier that got under your skin. Maybe it's a decision you regret or a fear that keeps circling back, no matter how many times you try to push it away. We've all had those nights. But here's what most people don't know when you go to bed, angry, anxious, or carrying emotional weight. Your body doesn't rest. It braces. And your kidneys, just like every other organ, feel that pressure in ways you can't see until it's too late. Stress, especially the kind that simmers under the surface, doesn't just affect your mood. It triggers a chemical storm inside your body. Cortisol rises. Adrenaline surges. Blood vessels constrict. Blood pressure climbs. And all of that tension floods your kidneys, reducing their ability to filter, regulate, and repair. Over time, that tension causes inflammation inside the tiny vessels responsible for cleaning your blood. And when those vessels scar, your kidneys begin to leak protein into your urine, a subtle but dangerous sign of early decline. I've treated patients who did everything right on paper, ate well, exercised, took their meds. But they carried unresolved grief, loneliness, or long-standing anger they never voiced. And it showed, not in their behavior, but in their labs, in their fatigue, in the way their bodies held tension like armor. You see, the human body isn't just physical, it's emotional, spiritual. And when one part suffers silently, the others absorb that pain. But here's the part that gives me hope. There are simple, gentle ways to shift this. You can create a bedtime routine that signals to your body and your kidneys that it's okay to let go. Start with soft music, something calming. Breathe deeply, not because it's trendy, but because your nervous system needs a signal to settle. Pray if that's your thing. Or write down what's bothering you. Close the day with intention, not just exhaustion. And turn off the news. Please, let go of the arguments that don't belong in your dreams. You don't have to fix everything tonight. You just have to give your body a few moments of peace. Because healing doesn't begin with another pill or another to-do list. It begins with stillness. And your kidneys, those quiet, faithful filters, need that stillness more than you know. Now, as powerful as this emotional storm can be, there's still one final mistake that may be even more dangerous. And it's one most people never discover until they're already sitting in a hospital bed. Let me be as direct as I can. The most dangerous habit, the one that does the most silent damage to your kidneys, night after night, isn't about what you eat or drink or forget to take. It's about what's happening inside your body while you sleep. I'm talking about nighttime blood pressure spikes. And most people don't even know they're happening. You see, your blood pressure is supposed to dip while you sleep. It's nature's way of giving your body a break, like a factory powering down for the night so repairs can begin. But for millions of older adults, that dip never comes. In fact, for some, pressure actually climbs during the night, and they have no idea. There are no alarms, no stabbing pain, no obvious signs, just damage. Quiet, steady damage to the most delicate parts of your kidneys. The filtration units, the nephrons, begin to scar. Slowly, irreversibly. Sometimes the clues are subtle. You wake up groggy, with a dull headache. You're sweating more than usual. You get up to urinate multiple times, but never feel fully emptied. Other times, you feel nothing at all. But inside, your kidneys are working under pressure they weren't built to handle. And the longer that pressure stays high at night, the more those tiny filters break down. I can't count how many patients came into my office with fatigue, swelling, or a sudden shift in their lab results, only to find out they were experiencing nocturnal hypertension, something they had never heard of. And it breaks my heart. Because if we had caught it sooner, the damage could have been slowed, maybe even stopped. So here's my plea. If you're over 60 And especially if you have a history of high blood pressure, diabetes, or kidney concerns, talk to your doctor about tracking your nighttime blood pressure. You don't need to obsess. Just take a reading before bed once or twice a week. Keep a log. And if you notice something off: dizziness, unusual fatigue, swelling, don't brush it off. Bring it up. Act early. Because once your kidneys begin to fail, there is no rewind button. Dialysis isn't a cure. Transplants are rare and complex. But the beauty of all this is every single habit we've talked about can help. Every small adjustment, every bit of awareness, every moment of self-care is a brick in the wall that protects your kidney health. Your kidneys are more than filters. They regulate blood pressure. They support your bones. They protect your heart. They give you energy, clarity, and independence. And when you take care of them, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. So tonight, as you get ready for bed, ask yourself, which of these 8 habits can I gently shift? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin. And if this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Save it. Share it with someone you love. Remind them that it's never too late to start protecting what matters most. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to rest deeply. And your kidneys? They deserve the same care they've been giving you all these years.